Hello everyone and welcome. In the next set of lessons, we are going to be discussing time intelligence. So let's just get into it. But before we start, we are going to look into the very simple function, very simple time intelligence function that has to do with month to date and month to date comparisons. So what we are going to use, the same code we use, we can use that for quarter to date and year to date comparisons. So let's get into it. So on our measures table, we go to new measure. So we do month to date. So let's call it MTD. MTD sales value. That is loan sales. Let's be specific. Value. Loan sales value. That will be equal to total month to date. You can see you have total month to date, total quarter to date, total year to date. So whichever, but now we are going to work with month to date. So I will employ you to work with to try your hands on quarter to date and year to date. So it's the same logic. So our expression will be loan value, while our dates will be our calendar date. So dim calendar dates. All right. So enter. Okay. So let's put a metrics table there. So to properly view this. So here, these are total sales over the years under consideration. So then we'll go to our calendar and bring our dates table. So we'll make this dates. So date. All right. So let's increase our values a bit so that we can just see properly. So we go to values. Okay. Let's make this around, okay, 13. I think this is fine. Right. So month to date, let's show our total sales, loan sales by the side, so that we will see what this month to date sales is doing for us. So this is our total, this loan sales count. Let's put the loan sales value. So that is our area of interest. So loan sales value. You can see that this particular one is giving us the loan sale value for each day, while this is giving us the cumulative loan sale as at a particular date in the month. So it adds, this is here, it adds this to this is added to this 3 adds to give this, 4 of this add to give this. So anywhere it shows, anywhere there is a blank sale, it just returns the value for the total value for the last sale. So this is how month to date works. So what if you want to do a comparison? So time intelligence makes more sense when there is comparisons. Yeah. And if you notice, this total here returns the total of the last month. That is what this returns. So let's just scroll down and see. This is a really long, you can see it returns the total of the last month, not the total sales over the years. So time intelligence, I was saying, time intelligence only makes sense when we compare to a previous month or previous 2 months or previous 3 months, just to see how the trend looks like. So let's compare this to a last month, for instance. So we say new measure. So for this, we are going to use calculate and date add. So we say last MTD loan sale value. That will be equal to calculate. So our expression will be we can either use loans value or month to date loan sale. So let's use month to date loan sale. So then what this does is that it shifts we are going to use date add that is going to shift like it has this interval in it that it helps shift our comparisons by whatever interval we want to compare, right? So let's do that. This is so we are going to use date add. Date add. So our dates will be dim calendar date, right? So while the interval, number of intervals is -1, then the interval we are doing month to date. So this is day. This is month, sorry for that. So I close the brackets, enter. So the interval is month. So let's put our measure, the measure we just created, into this table. So let's bring this here, last month to date. So let's expand this a bit. Okay. So if you can see here, for our last month to date, you can see that the first month here is empty because there is no equivalent data for a previous month to compare with. There's no equivalent data for the previous month. This is where the mean date of this data set. So when we go down a bit, you can see some new months now flowing in when we go to March, right? Okay, when we got to March, this value, let's go to February to check. This is the same value that we are going to see here. So this 13 now is the same we will be seeing the second day. So this is how this works. So let me represent this in a line graph. Yeah, so that I will also show you in the context that it makes sense to actually use this. Okay. This is the line graph. Let's put our date there. So date, then month to date sales, which is the current month to date, then last month to date sales. So what if you observe here, let me expand this a bit. If you observe, so this goes up, cumulates the number. When it gets to the end of month, it starts with the new month, it accumulates it to the end of month and starts with the new month. So like this, if you want to show something like this, it doesn't really make sense to whoever wants to see this report, because the person will not really make sense out of this. So to use this appropriately, it's better you compare sales in a particular month to sales in a month before. So to do this, we'll bring in a slicer. Bring in this slicer. We'll bring in this slicer to show our dates. So we'll bring our dates in there. So let's shift this to maybe, okay, we want to consider 1 month. Okay. Or I just come in here since, okay, let's say 2019. Let's say September 2019. So September 1 to September, let's say 12th. Okay, nice. So we are comparing September 1 to 12th. So we can see the sales from September 1 to 12th. What if we expand the date to 19th? You can see it increases. So and compares it with same period a month before. You can also see our table as it's populating nicely. So the next thing, what if we want to see a 3 months comparison? All we just need to do is this same formula, just copy it, go to new measure. So Ctrl V, then this interval, just change it to -2. So actually, okay, I have to rename this. I always forget to do this. Let me call it last 2 months. So if you recall how we used parameter in the previous tax to do some things, so you can also implement parameter here to make the last month to date comparison dynamic. I think I'll do something like that. I'll maybe include in the bonus session, or okay, in the bonus session where we see But still, just try that out, explore. So if you have any challenge, you can just put it in the comment section and we'll respond to you on how to use parameter to actually make this dynamic. So let me move this here. So you can see last 3 months, same period, the sales. So just by selecting a single date range. If you continue to play with this date range, let me say to 25th, for instance, you see the sales, So as at 25th, you see the sales, cumulative sales as at that period. So that is how this works. But again, I have a slight challenge with this month to date formula because the challenge is this. So if you want to compare 12 months, will you have to write this measure 12 times? That is a very huge challenge. So, but we have a solution for that. In the next lesson, I'm going to bring this solution to you, how we'll write a single measure that will be able to do comparisons over no matter how long it is. So we're able to do that comparison, same date, sales the same date in every month. So thank you for watching this lesson. I will see you in the next lesson.